Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga's team is expected to file a petition challenging the declaration of Dr. William Ruto as a president-elect for the next 14 days. All public focus will be centered at the Supreme Court as people will keenly watch the arguments between lawyers who will be trying to outwit their opponents. And KTN News is the news channel to trust on the coverage of the whole process. This morning we'll also be looking at the top stories making headlines across the country and beyond. Feel free to engage us on our social media platforms at KTN News KE and at Purity_Museo. That's on Twitter. Use the hashtag News Center. My name is Purity Museo and welcome to this live broadcast. We now begin from the Supreme Court, where the Azimio team is expected to file the petition challenging the presidential election. Let's now link up with our reporter David Muthoka. David Muthoka will be joining us and of course telling us whether the Azimio team has been able to file that petition. Remember, they had up to today before they do that. If they do not, then there will be no petition because today is the deadline for the team to probably petition the declaration of of Dr. William Ruto as the president-elect. And of course, last week we saw the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga saying that the results, or rejecting the results where William Ruto was declared the president, and also 4 of the 7 commissioners again said that they do not own those particular results. So it will be an interesting day as we wait to see whether the team, the Azimio team, led by the lawyers that have been selected to represent Raila Odinga at the court, whether they will be petitioning that particular results or not. So David Muthoka is on that beat. We'll be joining him shortly to tell us what is going on. And the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga once again is bracing for his final fight back, and this is the 5th time that Raila Odinga is vying as president. And in 2013 again he rejected the results. In 2017 did the same thing, and we saw the 7-bench judge that was led by David Maraga nullifying the results. Also in this election, the 2022 results, Raila Odinga terming them null and void. I do understand that David Muthoka is ready for that particular update from the Supreme Court of Kenya. Good morning, Muthoka. What do you have from that end?
Well, indeed, it is just a matter of minutes before the Azimio leader, Raila Odinga, leads the Azimio legal team on its way to the Milimani Law Court, where actually the 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court is definitely going to determine the fate of the 2022 presidential election. And actually, Odinga and that legal brigade from Azimio was supposed to be here from 8 a.m. according to an invite. But as it is now, it is 10 a.m. but Odinga has not arrived, though there are the telltale signs that he could be coming here anytime soon. What we've been able to gather is that there is an entire multitude of supporters of Azimio who have been camping here for the past few hours, let's say from about 7 a.m., perhaps in anticipation of the arrival of their presidential flag bearer, who from Monday evening, that is last week, has contested the outcome of the presidential election that saw Deputy President William Ruto declared president-elect by the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati. So definitely the signs here show that the Azimio team will be making its way here. Remember, it is planning to contest that presidential election that saw DP Ruto announced president-elect and Odinga trail for a 5th time in the presidential election. And there are grounds that definitely we are looking forward to see how the Azimio side will be contesting this election. And in the past few days, it has mentioned that it has a watertight case that will convince the 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court that is led by Chief Justice Martha Koome to throw away and to annul the presidential election. But of course, there have been speculation over what Azimio will be putting in its its petition. Definitely among the speculation is it will be banking on the split within the commission. It will also be banking on the disparities in the numbers of votes for the presidential election and in the other elections, including the gubernatorial, senatorial and MP election, of course, and a number of other factors and a number of other arguments that we're looking forward to seeing whether the Azimio side will be lodging. Of course, there is that other argument definitely about the vote count, disputing the entire tally. It is more or less like a quantitative argument where perhaps there have been speculation that this could prompt the court, actually the Supreme Court, to go on and to do, or rather to order a recount of the votes and maybe declare a winner from that. But of course, it is all eyes right here at the Milimani Law Courts, where the Supreme Court bench will be sitting, hearing and determining the fate of the presidential election court-wise. Definitely, it is expected to be a clash of the legal titans here, because definitely in the Azimio petition, one of the key respondents in that petition actually is supposed to be the IEBC, and of course the Kenya Kwanza side that is led by Deputy President William Ruto, but we will also be seeing what other interested parties and third parties will be enjoined in this particular case. Again, we understand that this road to the judgment begins right here today at the Supreme Court, where at around 4 p.m. that is the deadline for Azimio to lodge its petition, and from then the respondents will have, or rather the Azimio side is expected to, within the next 24 hours, to take the case, or rather to furnish the respondents with their petition. And of course, the respondents will be having 4 days to file back, of course setting in place what is going to be a petition that culminates with the hearing of the case and definitely the judgment that is set to come within the next 14 days. We are here, pitching camp here, just waiting to see the arrival of the Azimio presidential candidate. And just looking behind me, as you can see, security has been beefed up. Those, as you can see, are men in blue, literally, of course, who have joined forces with the GSU officers right here, and they have actually barricaded this particular route right here, showing that whatever is supposed to happen here is definitely anything or everything that concerns the court. And so definitely that tells you that it is set to be a serious day right here at the Milimani Law Courts, even as we await for the arrival of the Azimio side. That definitely, as I mentioned before, is fronting serious lawyers, experienced lawyers in this particular case. Among them includes lawyer Paul Mwangi. We also set to see Makueni Senator-elected Dan Manzo and a battery of other senior lawyers who will be leading on the front line, who will be on the legal front line for Azimio in this case. We have already seen the IEBC contract former Attorney General, that is Githu Muigai. We've also seen the Kenya Kwanza side is expected to field its battery of lawyers, including former LSK president and former aspirant, or rather candidate for the Westlands seat, that is Nelson Harvey, as well as Uasin Gishu woman representative-elect Gladys Boschole, and other lawyers who will be facing off in this particular case. But we wait here to see when the Azimio side will be arriving here, and definitely that arrival will be setting in motion one of the serious petitions involving the presidential election, even ahead, and even as all eyes are here to see whether the Supreme Court will this time be either nullifying or upholding this election, or even go for that outcome, and that includes ordering a recount and declaring a winner as per that recount.
And Mudhoka, before I let you go, you've mentioned that there are supporters. Have you spoken to either of them? What are the expectations?
Well, the supporters definitely are from the Azimio side, and we had an off the cuff engagement just a few minutes ago, and definitely they have optimism. They breathe optimism from what they have been able to say, and they expect that once the Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga makes his way here, he will be setting in motion a deja vu moment. Remember, 5 years ago we saw the Kenyan Supreme Court do something that no court in Africa had done, and something that just 3 courts in the entire world had, and that is the nullification and the annulling of the presidential election, and they are optimistic that a deja vu is in the offing. Of course, that is what we've been able to gather, and we'll be trying to interact with them and a number of MPs and a number of leaders allied to Azimio who will be making their way here shortly to hear what they have to say regarding this presidential petition.